the word that continued to pop up throughout the weekend and following the tournament was the word roller coaster. Every headline, every, sort of analyst afterward couldn't help but talk about the roller coaster ride that Rory was on. And so, New York Post, Rory McIlroy's roller coaster breakthrough was the Masters at its finest. ESPN.com, Rory coaster ride nets Masters win career slam. Even as Rory was hugging his putting coach, Brad Faxon, Faxon told him, "What a roller coaster." And so that was the feeling. So that's what described this tournament. And so when you think about the 4 double bogeys, well, then you also have to throw in, his eagles and birdies and other remarkable shots that he hit all over the course. And so as soon as we thought he was going to run away with it, he was up by 4 on Sunday. And then he slips back. And then we see him at the very end where he misses the putt, an easy putt to win. Oh, now we're going to the playoff. That was probably the moment where I really thought he was done.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he's lost all momentum. Justin Rose is coming in fresh to go in this playoff. And so it truly was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah. And then Rose makes that long putt for birdie. I mean, it's almost was like day 3 where DeChambeau, he has a 3, Rory's got a 3-shot lead. Then DeChambeau makes that long, 60-foot putt but and to that point, I think what he said his caddy, his longtime friend, childhood friend said to him, changed everything in his mind. He was like, if you would have told us on Monday that we're going to go into a playoff, would you take it? And he was like, absolutely. And that reset, gave him a different perspective that really, I think, enabled him to reset and again smoke another unbelievable drive on the playoff on 18 and then hit an incredible shot off the Rose, puts it, 10 feet, 12 feet, hits a great shot. It was unbelievable. It was so much fun to watch.
It really was. And, even comparing it to, I'd say probably basketball, when a game goes into overtime, you always favor the one that has the momentum.
Yeah.
That finished and tied the game and sent it to overtime. You always feel for that team versus the team that sort of slipped up at the end. So for Rory to miss that putt and then go into the playoff and win is a big deal and really hard to do.
Yeah.
So I give him a ton of credit for that. Now, we could criticize him for missing that putt.
Sure.
That's one thing. But to overcome that was huge.
And he talked about resilience, right?
Yes.
And that was his big word the whole week, not just that 4th day, but that resilience. And that was, that capped it off, the resilience. That was it.
Absolutely. And it's one of my favorite words. And we talked about it during March Madness, 1 or 2 different shows, because those teams in March Madness had to show resilience and toughness. And so we've seen that from Rory throughout his career, but also in this tournament. And, even thinking back to Thursday where he goes in as one of the favorites, I kept telling people, hey, I'm pulling for Rory and Scotty. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, he plays good golf, but then he double bogeys at the end.
Two double bogeys
at the end, 2 of the final few holes. So it was just crazy. And then, he starts Sunday with the lead. And then the hole number 1, he double bogeys. And how often have we seen this over the years where a guy just unravels after that? And that's it. But for Rory, that also sort of reset him too. And he talked positively about it after the tournament, which is just sort of kind of, all right, I got my bad shot out of the way. Let's move forward. And then we still saw the bad one when it went into the creek. Yeah. Or the tributary I saw today. They describe it as the tributary.
And honestly, of the bad shots that I saw, Bryce, I thought that was the worst.
Yeah.
On that.
Unthinkable.
Unthinkable. And on one of the, just like the major holes of that tournament, because it's a high risk, high reward shot. And he chooses previously the day before he gets there in 2, makes an unbelievable, talk about an epic eagle putt, right? And I think, he eagled that on day 3. And then on that day, he's conservative, lays it up, gives himself a little wedge and puts it in the creek. But to bounce back from that, another just resilient moment.
Absolutely. So that was on hole 13. We double bogeys. And so then at that point, him and Justin Rose were tied at 11 under. Mm-hmm. And then, he bogeys 14, but then he gets a birdie on 15 and 17.
Yeah.
And then, of course, had the chance at 18 and sends it to a playoff. So it was a wild day.